Am I the arsehole? Real stories, raw judgments. You decide. This story is from Simply Her. So, my wife is an amazing cook. She loves trying new recipes, and honestly, her food is restaurant quality. We often invite family over, and it always hits. Except with my brother and his kids. His kids are extremely picky eaters. I'm talking about the kind of picky where they'll only eat plain pasta, chicken nuggets, or grilled cheese. Whenever they come over, they refuse to eat anything my wife makes, no matter how simple or kid-friendly she tries to make it. They won't even try homemade mac and cheese because it's not the box kind. This has led to multiple dinners where my wife spends hours cooking, only for my brother to roll his eyes and say,
"Guess we'll have to stop somewhere on the way home."
Last time, my niece even said,
"Ew, what's that smell?"
when my wife was cooking. It was frustrating, but we let it slide. So, last weekend, we invited my parents, my brother, and his kids for dinner again. But this time I told my brother,
"Hey, if your kids aren't going to eat, maybe just feed them before you come."
He got all offended and said I was being rude and that we should just make something they'll eat. I told him we weren't running a short-order kitchen and that my wife puts effort into these meals. He ended up not coming, and now my mum is saying I should have just made something simple for the kids. My wife says she's fine, but I can tell she was hurt. I'm not sure what to do. I feel like I have to apologise. I didn't want this to become a whole thing. Maybe we can just make nuggets separately. So, am I the arsehole for telling my brothers he needs to feed his kids beforehand? This story's by Empty Use. I, 21 and female, have been with my boyfriend, 22 and male, for a few years, and we have twin babies together. We have been living in his family's brownstone for the past 2 years while I was finishing up school. I'm 82% done with my degree. The house has 3 separate apartments. I share one with his sister, who's 30 and female, and her fiancé, who's 29 and male, while his older brother, who's 32 and male, and their mother lives in the other units. Our relationship isn't perfect. We're young, still trying to figure things out. And sometimes we don't see eye to eye on parenting or responsibilities, but we do love each other, and we've both been committed to raising our kids together. Last week, everything escalated. His family suddenly told me that I had one night to move out with the babies and go live with my mum. Their reasoning? The house looked too lived in. They want the place to look pristine at all times, with no toys, no dishes, and no baby items left out. I'm in school full-time, raising twins, and I do my best to keep the space clean, but it's unrealistic to expect no signs of kids existing. We told them that that couldn't be an option, and then they told us we could go to Florida first. For some context, we've been planning on moving down there for some time, for unrelated reasons. We hate New York, and the area we live in. I pushed back and said I couldn't leave overnight and needed at least a month to figure things out. That led to a huge blow-up. I was yelled at, cornered, and almost physically grabbed while my kids were right there. When I asked them to stop cursing in front of the babies, they said they could do whatever the fuck they wanted. After a heated argument, they backed down and agreed I could stay until our move-out date. His brother and sister came over to me over the next few days and apologised. This was after they threw my children's toys down the stairs and dumped detergent in our clean clothes that were in the dryer. His mum never said sorry for putting her fingers in my face in front of my kids. I never once said I'm not moving out. All I needed was just one more day. I thought things had cooled off, but today my boyfriend broke down and told me the truth. His family has been pressuring him since the weekend to break up with me before we move. They gave him an ultimatum. Either he breaks up with me by tomorrow, or they fire him from the family business. They told him that I'm a distraction, that he should be focusing on his career, and that he shouldn't be involved with raising the kids. They planned to have me move to Florida under the assumption that we were still together. And then, once we got settled, he would leave me. I make more money than him and can afford to live alone. They just think I can't. They assumed I would be forced to let them take the kids. Not legally, but out of necessity. They planned to hire a full-time nanny or au pair to raise them so he could dedicate himself to work. They also explicitly told him not to tell me. His mother is currently dying of brain cancer and was given about 2 years to live. This makes the situation even more emotionally complicated because his family is using that as a reason why he should be prioritising them over us. They don't want him to move out with me because they feel like he should be spending all his time with her while she's still alive, but they expect me and our baby to just pack up and leave. He finally broke down and told me everything. He was crying, throwing up from anxiety, and completely overwhelmed by the pressure they've put on him. I don't think he ever planned to go through with it, but the fact that they've been pushing this so aggressively, right before we moved out, feels like they are trying to set me up. He did tell me earlier that we were done, but after a long conversation, this whole thing came out. He didn't want to, but also they threatened to cut him off from his mother's last few years. I call BS. They think I should just go and live with my mum and make things easier for him. They're saying I am overreacting and being difficult instead of just accepting that they're looking out for his best interests. Now they're acting completely normal to my face, like none of this has happened. They don't know I know their plan. I've made it clear, I am not moving out without him, and we are leaving together. But after everything, I don't know how to treat his family anymore. I don't want to be overly hostile, but I also don't feel like I can just smile and pretend that they didn't try and rip my family apart. I forgot to add that I was forced to take the semester off because of the whole situation, and find an accommodation so quickly. I planned to move to Florida after I was done with my degree, which would have been around September, December. So, am I the arsehole for wanting space from my boyfriend's family after they pressured him to break up with me and leave me stranded with our twins? This story is by Snoo Lentils. Long story short, my wife is a pathological liar and her parents support every action of hers. Just to give a few examples, during an argument, my wife moved the steering wheel of the moving car, and when I informed her parents, they blamed it on the hormones of a woman. She has lied about the smallest of things to the biggest. I recently learnt that she created a fake sex story on how we conceived our baby. She told her friends that we went to a hotel and had drunken sex and didn't use protection for that one night and got pregnant. Whereas the reality is we tried for 8 whole months to get pregnant. And in those 8 months she cried to me many times wondering if there was any health conditions and that she couldn't get pregnant because she was overweight. Bearing in mind she wouldn't visit the doctor even after I insisted. I also learned that she took pills a few times to avoid pregnancy. Now I know the lie, I don't know what to trust. So I questioned my wife if the baby was ours, as I never took her to any hotel locally. Amid an argument, I told her parents that she had lied to our friends about how we conceived the baby, and I was flabbergasted by her mother's reaction. She said,
My daughter created a fake sex story because you did not take her out for dinners regularly and gave her a boring life.
Now, what was a slight doubt in my mind has turned into a big suspicion on whether the lady who can justify lying about how you conceived just because I didn't take her daughter out for dinners. What would stop that mother from encouraging my wife to sleep with someone else if I get busy with work and have to stay late for travel? I say this because I have proof of how her mother dictates my wife on how to text me, talk to me, and which emojis to use. I've even heard stuff like,
Go hug him, kiss him, he'll melt down after that,
etc., etc. I must add, she left home after an argument about 3 months ago and is now living with her parents. So, am I the arsehole for doubting my wife because she lied about everything, but promises it's true? After what her mother said, I just don't know what to believe because of her influence her mother has on her. Hey,
I recorded these on different days and I'm now fighting off a cold, so please bear with me while I sneeze and cough my way through this. Okay, here's your next story. Please be aware that in this story, although it doesn't have a direct link to child essay, it does contain themes of it. This story is by Suspicious Air. Guys, I'm devastated. Just sitting in a hotel room contemplating every decision I've made in my life. Everything is falling apart. I can't even tell anyone what happened. I'm lost. I feel like the world is crashing down on me. I can't unsee what I saw. I feel like I should never have ignored my instincts. Something was always wrong. I can't shake the feeling that I let this man touch me ever. For background, I'm 28 and female, and my husband is 32 and male. We dated for 2 years and married for 3. I'm a nurse, he works at a tech startup. He's always wanted kids, and I've been open to the idea, but I don't express myself as super excited about it. Being a nurse, I've seen too many depressed mums who regret their decisions, so I'm just being cautious. I don't mind having kids, I just don't feel that crazy mum instinct towards kids. Like a lot of my cousins say, they just want to be a mum. He's always excited, and talks about it all the time. We've been doing some tests to make sure everything's good, and we have sort of been trying. Last month was our marriage anniversary, at the end of January. After dinner, he told me he had a gift for me, and I was really excited. I opened the box, and it was so creepy. It was a realistic doll like how a baby looks. I had no idea things like this even existed. He told me these are called reborn dolls. I was so weirded out because it's literally like holding a dead baby. The eyes are closed and it just felt wrong. It came with a bunch of clothes and stuff, and I was shocked that he would even get this for me. I didn't want to be rude, so I asked,
Oh, wow, what made you get this?
And he said,
Since you told me you don't have that mum sort of vibe, I got you this doll to help you.
I was so creeped out, but I didn't want to ruin the night, so I just thanked him and went to bed. Never talked about it again. A few days passed, and last night he went out with his friends. They usually drink, so it's not uncommon. He was at his friend's place and said he'd be home late. I had work early the next day, so I went to sleep. At 4 a.m, I woke up to get ready for my shift. I went downstairs and saw him passed out on the couch. I went a little closer to wake him up so he wouldn't hurt his back sleeping there, and then I saw it. Next to him were his drinks, a bottle of lube, and that silicone sticky doll without clothes placed on his private parts. He was just lying there, passed out. And then my heart sank. I felt disgusted, disturbed. I quietly went upstairs, grabbed some clothes and left. I called in sick and checked into a hotel. Now I'm sitting here devastated. I don't know what to do. I feel sick. I don't even know who to talk to or who to tell. He's been calling and texting asking why I'm not at home, saying I'm overreacting. He keeps saying that it's not what it looks like and that I need to give him a chance to explain. He said he was just cuddling it, but I know what I saw. He has no reason to have that doll on him, in that position, with that stuff next to him. I don't feel safe seeing him again. I don't know how to tell my friends or family. I'm Indian, and there's going to be a lot of judgment about divorce if I even say the word. My family will not hear me out. They only think divorce is justified if someone is being physically abusive. I don't even know how to explain why I don't want to be with him anymore. I feel like he's going to turn this on me, say I'm the one being crazy, and that no one will believe me. Am I just overreacting or being the arsehole by not hearing him out? I know my brother and close friends will trust me, but my parents and relatives? They'll think I'm insane. I'm worried about going back home and facing him. I want to tell someone about it and want a friend or my brother to come with me if I have to go grab some more stuff from home. What should I do from there? This is the edit. A lot of people are asking about pictures. Before leaving the house, I took a picture because I knew no one would believe me. I didn't tell him I had proof because I was scared of him. My friends and brother will believe me regardless. It's just the family that I'm worried about. It's so hard to bring things like this up with them. I can't even discuss small topics with them due to our cultural stuff. Despite having the picture, I don't think I can show it to my parents. Second edit. Someone commented saying that I was the arsehole. Their daughter had 6 of these reborn dolls and that they do not have any openings. I just want to add, I have no idea about any of that. Like I said, I just saw the naked doll on him. I never said what he did with it. He was most likely just masturbating. People here are assuming he did stuff to it. I never touched that doll and I have no clue about the openings or not. I am disturbed by the fact that he had it on him with a bottle of freaking lube next to him.
The Am I the Arsehole podcast is not affiliated with Reddit or any other online message boards. All the stories featured are narrated and produced with the author's permission. Please email me your stories to amithearseholepodcast@gmail.com if you'd like to hear your stories read in future programmes. And that's spelled AITAH podcast@gmail.com. You can also check in the show notes for the email. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time. Take care.